Hey there, folks. My name is Misadventure, and welcome back to the Icenia campaign. I do apologize, my voice is probably noticeably congested. I am just not feeling super great right now physically, but I wanted to do a video of the series, and here we are. And I thought it'd probably be safe to do, mostly because this is going to be a lower key episode. No warfare happening right now, just economic stuff and dealing with the fallout of our war that we just concluded against Venetia last episode. Now, something I do want to mention is before I proceed fully into the episode, because again, this is a one take, live recording thing, I do a couple takes where, usually per episode, I get started, I kind of stumble because I'm not quite in the live voiceover mindset yet. And during that period, I try not to do anything on the map or with characters that is irreversible, such as clicking a button, managing infrastructure or anything that won't ultimately be on camera in the final video. Because again, the final video, like what you're watching right now, is a single live take with no editing or very minimal editing, usually no editing. And this time around, because of my pretty bad congestion, and I guess that has also meant my brain is congested, I did actually do some permanent stuff before I was fully ready to do the take. So let me quickly go over what I've done essentially off camera. I do apologize about this. I know I'm not obligated to do everything on camera, but I try really hard to, because I think part of the point of this series is for my entire playthrough, every decision I make in this game to be recorded and be commented over, so you get the full experience and you're not left to wonder what I've been doing in the background. In this game, if I didn't include every action that I took, because all the systems of this game interact with each other, it would quickly become confusing if I didn't explain everything. So what I've done is I did delete the fort in Curiosolitum, because the province of Armorica, although it has pretty severe loyalty problems in terms of 0.36 being reduced per month, its actual current loyalty is completely okay, 94%. It does give us essentially time to sort out its loyalty problems before it dips below the threshold, the way that Icenia has after territory was added to it at the end of the last war. Looking at this, something else I did off camera is I went ahead and I gave free hands to Demona Orgatora. I had a brief discussion where I talked about how even though her corruption is extremely severe because she's been extorting the territory as her scheme, I decided that adding more corruption, which will mostly have the effect of increasing her wage, is a worthwhile trade-off to improving her personal loyalty, which had dipped below the threshold of character loyalty. And I wasn't sure at that moment whether her personal loyalty being disloyal would severely impact the province of Icenia's provincial loyalty. If we look here, it actually has now improved. I don't know if we looked at this at the end of last episode or if it was on screen before, but the province loyalty in Icenia was previously around minus 20 or minus 0.20 and minus 0.30. Now it's down to minus 0.07 because of Demona's personal loyalty, but her high corruption is actually almost offsetting that. So that's unfortunate, but as the territory that was added here in the war kind of gets integrated, it will improve. The other thing that we can do to improve the loyalty situation in Curiosolitum is to change the governor policy, which I think I will do as a drastic measure, even though I will gain tyranny for doing it. I believe because it's not my capital, a province in my capital region, that's definitely still worth it. 0.05 tyranny is not, or sorry, 0.5 tyranny is not a super big deal. We are going to switch it over now to local autonomy, and that is going to reduce the loyalty loss substantially. It will help out a bit, and as the stuff gets acclimated to my rule, that will also improve it further. Now, there's no need, I think, to shift around the capital right now. The current capital location, honestly, might be the permanent capital location. It's in a really good location. Farmland, it's pretty central. It controls one of the coastal routes, and it's also perfectly spaced away from the other capital that I'm not going to move. So all that being said, that's the situation there in Northwest Gaul. We're going to leave that alone now. Now this is just reminding us that Icenia has below the threshold for loyalty. The threshold, by the way, I think is 32, 33 for provinces. I don't know actually for sure. I think it's 40 for characters. These two I'm just going to leave alone. The threshold, the loyalty for character threshold is not being met. Sorry, my brain. Oh my gosh, the power base total doesn't meet the threshold in the character loyalty. Can you understand why my brain starts to fall apart when I try to describe the way these systems interact? There's just so many modifiers, so many qualifiers. It's a lot. Now, we do have a military tradition to pick. Now, this is actually something I didn't do in my pre-recording moment of mistake. But what I do want to do, I did look over these quietly before making a selection, and I do have a pick in mind, and it's this one here, Blow the Trumpet in the New Moon. This will give us manpower recovery speed plus 5%. I don't remember if this means manpower recovery in the army or in the manpower pool. I think it does mean in the army, so it's not as strong as a 5% manpower gain increase, which would actually be quite incredible, but having your army regenerate manpower 5% faster is certainly nice, and it does open the way to the pretty good word of mouth, which gives us, well, you see what it gives us. It also gives us a free high martial character, which in our low martial nation is a pretty nice addition. The other thing to get in that direction is chariot mastery. We have been buffing chariots a little bit, but chariots, even though we do have chariots and they are the mobile section of our army, they're not a huge part of the army, so I don't think 5% manpower recovery is better, or excuse me, I don't think 5% manpower recovery is worse than chariot discipline 10%. So this is just a much more useful thing. I will get this later, but this is better to get sooner, I think. So let's grab this here. Blow the trumpet in the new moon. The Carnix, a trumpet possessed of a harsh and instantly recognizable timbre, inspires our troops while terrifying our opponents. All right, that's that. Now let's resume. So the other thing that's going to happen in a few months here is we are going to hit 50 political influence once again. We are at 200 gold, so we will be able to found another city. And the question is, where do I want to found such a city? Lots of interesting options. There's always, of course, the option of not founding a city and saving money and political influence for other matters. I'm going to keep on speed too as well, just so we don't get overwhelmed by speed. Perhaps something in the north to assist with colonization. Getting a city in Dictium in particular might open the way for colonizing stuff up here. The other thing I should mention as well is I did finally, in between episodes, go and look at the situation with the missions. And unfortunately, unless I've read the wiki wrong, someone in the comments please do correct me if I'm wrong about this, I'm actually mechanically unable to ever do another conquest mission again. And here's why. On the wiki, hold on, that's not the right button. On the wiki, it describes the way conquest missions, or matter of blank missions, are calculated as being with provinces that are adjacent to your territory. Now you'll notice I do have territory down here that's in the province of, the region, of Armorica, and it's adjacent to other regions. So you'd think there'd be a matter of Armorica mission appearing, but unfortunately, I think the way it works, and again, someone please correct me if I've misread the wiki, is it has to border your territory, which is to say the territory within which your capital is located. Now, we're on an island, so we do border the Caledonia region, and we've been getting the Caledonia mission consistently this whole time. But we don't border anything else except for our own region in the Caledonia region. So I think, aside from the matter of Caledonia region, the only other generic missions we're going to be getting, and because we don't have any unique missions that I'm aware of, it will just be these generic missions, is Matter of Caledonia, and then the Pearl of blank regions, once we fully control the region to help us, as we had with Britannia, to help us basically improve the infrastructure of those regions. So that's the situation there. I don't think we're ever going to be able to get other missions just because of that. And again, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that someone in the comments lets me know that I've misunderstood the way that works mechanically, but it looks as though we are going to be at a disadvantage compared to a mainland nation like Rome, who gets, Rome actually gets lots of unique missions that are stronger than regular generic missions, but say, like the Arwernia, I don't know if they get unique missions, they possibly do, but they're certainly getting lots of missions for territory around them on the mainland. It is what it is. We have to take advantage of our advantages as an island nation if we're going to lose out on that mission structure. So that's what that is. If we look at this, nothing particularly useful around here. We already have all these claims and whatnot, so we're just going to... Oh, I guess I can't... I guess I can't abort it without losing stability. I'll just keep it here, but I'm not going to worry about that. Anyways, that all looks fine. Let's resume. Prosperity. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab the stability again. We have a lot of stability now, which actually might mean it's time for a law change, because we don't want to be at this high of stability for too long with that massive decaying effect you can see in the middle of the screen there. Now, we don't have access to a lot of these things because they do require different inventions to be enabled. We're not going to change this, so what's left is military reforms. I think military service is probably... It is an option. It does give us a better levy size. I don't know if we need legions yet. Legions are a big investment as well, and I would need to do more research into the meta for legion construction. But I think our levies are still pretty competitive. The thing, too, is our full levies plus 2 or 3 mercenary companies at the start of the war. And I'll also mention something I realized before starting this episode. One major thing I messed up about this war is I should have invaded multiple sections of the alliance at the same time and had their armies split around. I was able to beat any of their armies one-on-one with any of my armies. It's just when they were able to combine all their forces and add mercenary forces into that doom stack, I was not able to fight it one-on-one. So what I should have done is used my naval advantage to invade in multiple places along their coastlines and sort of split them apart. That was a pretty big mistake and not something I will repeat in the future, given that now I've seen what happens when I don't think of things that carefully. So that being said, let's go back to the laws here. Higher levy size is certainly nice. Integrated culture happiness. I'm working so hard to get everyone into Icenia. This is a pretty good option. Unintegrated culture happiness minus 4% could have some downsides, of course, but I think if I am going to change it, this is a good, sort of default option to change to military service. Mercenary contract law is interesting. I think if I wasn't confident in my levy, which I am confident in my levy, this would be another good alternative. But because I am confident in my levy, and mercenaries are handy, and I do plan to use them in the future quite a bit. However, I don't think they're so problematic for my budget that I need to pick this over military service. It's essentially a what are you missing out on kind of question. This is a good option, but military service is better for my particular needs. Now, Royal Guard is the interesting one. This is the worst levy size multiplier. In fact, I think it would reduce my levy. It would give me 5% discipline across the board, which of course would be good, but it also, the main thing it does, lets us raise legions in the Britannia region. And I think it's really hard to say. I think because at the moment, most of my people are Iceni or are being turned into Iceni here in Britannia, and I don't have a lot of overseas sort of colonial regions that aren't going to be turned into Iceni, or at least not right now. I think the advantage of having legions versus having a big levy. So again, to mention quickly, I think the main circumstance it's better to have legions, just in terms of your population, is when you are mostly not your integrated, default culture group, or culture, not culture group. So for example, what am I looking at here? Culture. So Iceni dominates Britannia. Almost everyone in Britannia is Iceni, especially southern Britannia. So yeah, it's almost all, if we look at the actual breakdowns, it's almost all Iceni, and that's because I've been running that cultural assimilation policy across the board, as I've talked about before. And because of this, if I didn't have this, if I wasn't focusing so heavily on cultural assimilation, I think the discipline and ability to form legions would be better, because the legions aren't dependent upon your population. They're based upon your money. At least that's my understanding of it. Of course, I can also afford lots of things with my big trade income. But because I do have such a heavy Iceni population and my levy is based upon my Icenia population. I have an unusually strong levy for the size of my nation. I'm punching above my weight, as it were, with the levy size. And if we got a, what's it, 5%? Now, if we added plus 5% more from switching to, what's the name of the law? Military service. Also, on top of that, integrated culture happiness means the freemen, Icenia, are going to be generating more manpower, as are the citizens. So even more levy size. So levy size multiplier, this is basically 5% more than this, so it's not really 10 more, it's 5 more. And then even more from happier freemen and citizens. Yes, it's true, unintegrated culture happiness, this would hit me in my most unstable regions of my nation. But essentially, all of that is to say, comparing the military service with Royal Guard, the two options, I don't feel as though legions are necessary yet. And I do think my build, as it were, for my particular like progress as the Icenia has been in a way that military service better capitalizes upon. So I'm going to switch to military service. That does settle that. We are going to lose 15 stability. Almost going to still be at 50, so very good. 35 political influence. We are going to delay that city, but that's fine. Now let's go ahead and take a look and see how this does affect our manpower. So right now, again, this varies so wildly. 9,626. And then over here, we have 31 soldiers here. These two levies, by the way, are mostly going to be of non-Icenia, so we're going to just ignore that. Or, that's not right. It is based on Icenia, but these are both the minimum, because there's only a couple Icenia in Caledonia and Armorica. It is still drawing from Icenia. Ignore what I said a moment ago. The way that levies work is it draws from integrated pops, not non-integrated pops. But 31, this is the main group, so let's see what happens here. 42. Wow. Wow, that's actually pretty strong. This is actually better than I realized. All right, we passed the military service. The privileged cultures in our kingdom are given many privileges. Oh, that's some great writing there. I think that I wrote that in my current addled state. Must have been. And enjoy representation in government. In return, they are obligated to all do military service when the state so requires. In return for their service, any soldier will receive an allotment of land to support them. All right. That's fine. And this may not modify until next month, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I am excited to see what happens there. But that's like a 10 unit increase. That's pretty huge. That also means, by the way, we can now more easily split our main Britannic levy into potentially 3 full-sized armies, which will enable future wars to use the divide and conquer strategy that I was alluding to earlier. Let's wait. One thing here. 1st of June. 42. That's pretty crazy. Make sure that my budget is where I want it to be. I think I can actually reduce this now. Well, I'm not at war. Yeah. I think I will. Actually, it doesn't really make a big effect at all. But having happier Icenia will affect other things like research, so I will do this. Okay. Maybe the manpower max isn't really being affected the way I thought it might be. I will say, I think I've commented on this before, manpower maximum is one of those mechanics that, to this day, completely continues to elude how it's calculated. Elude me in how it's calculated, excuse me. Anyways, let's resume. Looking good so far. How's our succession situation with our new kid? 1-year-old, alright. Age finds all of us in the end. Even the priests and surgeons shake their heads when confronted with the inevitable decline of the human body, as Donis is finding out. He may not have much time left. He's got gout. That's no good. Well, that's actually very much not good, because his successor is a tiny baby. So, I don't know what happens when you have a young kid who becomes the new king. I guess you have a regency, which could be kind of interesting at least, but probably not the best for legitimacy and stability, so have to keep an eye on that. I'm actually pretty impressed that this is going so well over here. You know, something else I should do is I should go ahead and take a look and see. Have I set up colonies over here? I did, yeah, this is still our Moroccan. Yeah, so I did set up a colony. No new colony to set up there. That's fine. How are you doing down here? We could ally with Arvernia. That would certainly give us a powerful friend in the region. But we're likelier to come into conflict with them. Who are they fighting right now? Emporion? I don't know who's going to win that one. It's going to be close, but we'll see. How about... Ooh. Carthage is kind of bounced back a bit. Look at this. They really are taking over the Iberian coastline. Alright. Interesting stuff. Alright, nothing too pressing for us, though. Maximum is now above 10,000, so that's a good change. I think this has mostly been affected by Freeman happiness. Alright, Dubno Walaunus Kalatus has died, killed in a freak accident. Alright, so there goes that guy's with his disloyalty problem. Who's the new head of the Kalatii family? This person here, Adiatuanus Kalatus, he's the high priest. You're actually very loyal, so that's good to see. For once, a loyal Kalatii family head. Love to see it. Alright, that's coming along. Good stuff. Couple years away. Alright. That's fine. Yeah, so we're just going to let this build back up. I might take the 5,000 manpower option when I get it, so that way we can launch into a war safely. I mean, I'm not going to repeat the mistakes I made that cost us all that manpower, but I do want to go into a war with more than just, you know, one of my smaller levies worth of manpower and not my main, like, because my main army is going to be many, it's going to be over, like, 10,000 people. Why am I not speaking well right now? My language ability is not up to par, but I'm already midway through the recording. We're going to go with it. Everything's fine. It's going to go fine. Anyways, this is just a recovery episode. We are just taking it chill. Just making sure everything kind of returns to normal in a smooth manner. I guess one thing I should do is I should decide my next city location. I am thinking Dictium to prepare for colonization of these regions up here. If I'm going to be trapped with just trying to take over Caledonia, I may as well actually go for it. But Manawia also needs some more people here to be able to colonize. We're going to need 8 pops to pull that off. What's your immigration? Let's see here. No, that's not right. Your growth is 0.31. All right. 2 months away, and this is a little closer even. All right. I think I can probably, well, let's actually, I know I was just saying let's have peacetime, but this Merinia claim, or excuse me, the levy preparation will be concluded in time for this. So if we were to target Merinia, wait a moment, who do we have cast a spell on? Oh yeah, that's right. So Britannia has cast a spell on Merinia. So Merinia would bring in Nuria. So these are already both pretty strong nations in the region. They also bring in Menapia. So basically everyone over here all joined together. Merinia are also weirdly split between 2 exclaves, so that's kind of interesting. Now this is all in the Belgica region, except weirdly for this part here, which is in the Germania region. Now, I don't know if there's some like weird specific reason that this area is in Germania. I'm just not gonna get into it, but that's irritating for sure, given that these are separate regions altogether. And I don't want to spread myself too thin. I don't know how I'd feel about assigning 2 new governors to unstable regions. But then again, having a presence in all 3. But then again, you know, there might be some advantage to not having a presence in Germania at all, given that I have a lot of trade relations with Germanian nations. Maybe just sticking with Belgica would be better. I don't need to have this spot here under my control. What I could do is, let's see here. I think I'd probably be able to release whatever nation was here in Frisia. That'd probably be the smart maneuver. May 4th, alright. plan here. Okay, let's go ahead and get things going. I know I just talked about not doing war, but I don't know, the bloodlust, it's still in me. Let's go for it. This time around, though, I'm a bit more confident that I'm not going to have the same troubles, mostly because I have a much stronger levy, and I have a better idea for the strategy I'm going to do. We're going to go for it. I'm going to redeem myself, I guess, in my own eyes, which is kind of what matters the most, if you want to be a little therapeutic about it, but yeah, we're going to go for it. All right. Turn of the month, all right. Let's go ahead and get our levies up and at 'em. Oh, I misread that. It's the 24th of April. That's fine. We're almost there. I thought it was the 24th of May. Even my reading skills are clouded by congestion. Very strange. All right, now we can do it. 20,000. That is quite a bit. And we're going to do some real work with this force here. They did regenerate all those donkeys. They've reconscripted the entire donkey population of the islands to refill. We're not going to do any more of that wild donkey siege tactics. That clearly backfired last time, so no need to repeat those errors. This time I'm going to approach the situation with a much more careful tactical approach in terms of what forces are where. I guess I could have sent them to Agritore. I'll just do it like this. This is fine. You're going to raise the troops. On you go. I know it'll take a moment to get over there, but that's fine. I don't think there's any immediate dangers in either of these places here. Scandal! Alright. Scandal is unfortunately part of an average day in the Bretonic court. Ordinarily, we would simply ignore such petty squabbles. However, on this occasion, the esteemed Indutiomaris Welbus was found in flagrante delicto with his lover, Carta Mandua Orgatura, by his spouse, Killa Urkea. Okay, so what do we do about this? Who is this person? This is the royal tutor. You have really, really good charisma as well. I don't like to lose popularity on Donis, but I don't really want to get involved in this. You are not a government character, you're not, so I'm just going to not get involved. Donis is about to be in a war, so his popularity should be improved by that. Alright, now we head over here and pick up our boys and we declare war. And our armies, our navy rather, should be back up to full morale just in time. So here's the plan. I haven't thought this through. I'm going for it by sort of on the fly, which is, after the last war, maybe not the right move, but I'm going to prove to everyone here that I know what I'm doing with this game. I swear to God. Oh man, this loss, or this messy Pyrrhic victory situation is really really hit me where it hurts, but anyways. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get our guys over here and get them all onto the boats. I guess we can go into port to do that. And our guys are all going to be fully Dark Army. Dark Army. So we're going to do as well. So these are each 4,000 stacks. We're going to split this force into several sections. We could split it in half. I think I'll split it in half and have them both embark. Alright. Do I bring mercs with me is the question. 24,500 versus I can't say offhand how much yeah, this is all over the place culturally. So at the minimum 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, or excuse me, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000. 6,000 at the absolute minimum. However, probably more than that. So let's round it up to 10,000 or so. If I split my force, it's going to be 2 stacks of 12,000 I'm going to attack in two directions. One here in Lintomegas to secure, excuse me. Oh, it's actually not in Lintomegas. It's in Gesso Riarcum. We're going to attack Gesso Riarcum, secure that port, and then we're also going to attack the other side, Lugudurum, and secure that port. I'm going to split my force and bank on them not being able to defeat each half of my force with their full side. Now, yes, mercenaries getting involved will completely negate this. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to also keep my navy split and support each of these sort of landing sections and try and get away if I see a huge death stack with mercenaries coming over. So that's the kind of basic idea with this war. In fact, I can actually do this now. So let's actually have everyone come back on land. I have to do it like this. This is kind of awkward, but I have to split the navy into two sections. Okay, so split the navy. This navy will have... Now, Boyrix is previously the commander of 7. 8, yeah, I'll have Boyrix do it. Stupid second navy. Alright, so I get them like that. Alright, so we're going to have the levy of Armorica embark on the first navy. The first levy of Britannia embark on the first navy. First navy, you're going to head up here. Give it a day. I just need them out of the port. Alright, there we go. Now the levy of Caledonia embark on the second navy, and the levy of Britannia embark on the second navy. You're going to basically... Nope, hold on. You're going to come here. Alright. Now we're going to launch the war and invade navally at the same moment. So they're going to see my... Actually, hold on. This is actually in this sea tile here. So scoot on down. That's fine. Trying to avoid that storm, maybe. The followers of Stonehenge. Okay, here's a unique Stonehenge event. There's a strong religious following practicing near Stonehenge, gathered by Welba. Followers are holding their own ceremonies in front of the large gatherings of people upon the steps of the colossal entryway. There is no evidence that ceremonies of this kind have any benefits, but there is also no evidence that the contrary is true. Okay, so she is Master of the Guard. She's super, super good marshal. Actually, she should be like a general, shouldn't she? Anyways, I could get a lot of influence and lose a bit of stability. That influence is quite appealing, but I'd basically be scrapping this character. I'd need to get her out of office and basically remove all of her power immediately because she'd lose all of her loyalty. Or give her some popularity, lose tax rate but gain omen power, and let's remind ourselves right now my omen is giving me manpower recovery speed, so not the worst omen power to get. Or I could kill her, lose stability, and I'd gain tyranny. This is an interesting set of options for sure. This is quite a wild option to pick. 50 influence. She's a really, really good character martially, but she's not, as far as I can tell... She's in the Welby family, it looks like. Yeah, there she is there. Oof. Is it worth sacking one of my few super high martial characters for political influence? I actually don't even think so, to be honest. I'm so starved for high martial characters. But then again, that's a lot of political influence, and I spent this entire series just complaining endlessly about not having a political influence. You know, let's give this a go. This is kind of wild, but we're in a wild mood right now. All right. So this did affect my stability, and now we're gonna have to make some changes in our government here. Offices. Right, you definitely are gonna have to be removed. They're too disloyal. Okay, so we actually can't remove them. Okay, so I see what's happening here. So, can we bribe them? How about free hands? Now we can change. Switch it over. Let's switch it over to... You're a minor character. Actually, are the Welby okay? Yeah, the Welby are fine. I don't think there's any other Welby who are really qualified for this, so let's switch it. Actually, you're a Welby. You're pretty good, too. Alright, we'll switch it to you. Alright, we've switched it around. Welby family overall is still fine. I don't need that character to love me. I just need the Welby family to be loyal. Anyways, now we're in position. Everything is set to go. Looks like 99%. That's all fine. Yeah, so even though we're so far down here, this is the sea tile that this connects to. And that's going to be it for this episode. I do apologize for the cliffhanger ending, but I need to go into this war fully alert and ready for what's going to come. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed my lower energy, slightly under the weather recording, but we are trying to get our second wind after that kind of messy war, and things are looking already like they're going to start off in the right way with this land invasion, this D-Day style invasion over here in these parts. Actually, we're invading Marinia on both of its exclaves, so that's kind of interesting. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.